Thanks. Our best We and Me in 23 series continues now with simple strategies to boost nutrition with Dr. Wendy Bazilian. Welcome back. Good to have you.
Thank you. We're already eating.
We've already started to make
way.
I feel boosted.
Absolutely.
We love carrots.
Yeah, and you will be surprised, I think. Despite seeing things that are familiar and nutritious already, we're going to amplify it.
Okay.
All right?
She ate the raw one. I don't like them raw. I like them cooked. Is there a better version?
Carrots are always good, but if you cook carrots whole is the message.
Whole.
Not only does cooking increase the carotenoids in
Carotenoids. That's what we need.
in our carrots, but it retains 25% more of the phytonutrients by cooking them whole. Plus, it's so much easier. So even if you want to cut them, then you cut them after. Cook them whole.
Okay.
Good
All
tip.
right, so this is all about the prep. This is called Let It Rest, and I know that this isn't Kelly's favorite.
I love it.
There's an old New York proverb, by the way, that says a nickel will get you on the subway and garlic will get you the seat. Well, there you so for some of us, it's that case, but you mince your garlic, you chop it, and let it rest. Let it be the first thing that you prep because it releases important phytochemicals that then deactivate when you put it to the heat. So let it rest so that it produces all those things for heart health, anti-cancer properties.
Oh, great. I didn't know that. Okay.
What about
And 10
apple?
to 60 minutes on that.
Oh.
So not that long is
You
what
don't
I'm
need
saying.
that much
not
time.
that much time.
What's happening here?
Yes.
See if it was hot.
Yeah, many of us, not hot yet, but you can taste it if you want. Cook in a cast iron pan. Start integrating that more. You can get absorbable iron into your foods from the pan.
Good stuff from the pan.
There was a study that showed that apples actually increased by 2,000%, 21 times almost.
Is
the
that
iron.
true?
Yeah, true.
By the way,
tomatoes
and then
as well.
never wash your cast iron pan.
So what do you
This is
do?
true.
What are you supposed to do?
This is true. You wipe them.
Wipe it down?
You season them. There's little gadgets and gizmos that you can use,
Okay.
but cook in it. And acidic foods like tomatoes, tomato sauce, they can elevate the iron by about 9 times. So
Very
it's
great.
really impressive.
I just
What's
want
next?
to eat that whole pan.
Yeah.
No, looks good.
Oh, so this is all about temperature. Potatoes get such a bad rap, still all these years later. But when you cook a potato, it actually absorbs some water, and when you cool the potato and make a potato salad, it turns into a starch crystal that acts like fiber. It slows the rate of blood sugar into your bloodstream, glucose into your bloodstream, and it also stimulates hunger hormones, appetite hormones to slow down like, I'm done, I'm done.
So it
So it
tells
fills you
you
up.
that you're done.
Yes. So then you consume this either cold or room temperature,
Yum.
but you can't even reheat it because that resistant starch will stay put. Once
The chemistry is
That's
so
amazing.
interesting.
It's
All right.
chemistry, yeah, it's really
now
cool.
the tomatoes. They
This
look
may
good.
be familiar to you, but it's wintertime, so it's worth repeating. Sometimes in the winter, the fresh tomatoes, not that great, Don't forget the jarred, the tomato paste. They have high levels of lycopene. When tomatoes are cooked, it increases lycopene, which is important for heart health, prostate health in men. It's also a photoprotector nutrient. That means that it gives some natural SPF on your skin as well. So don't forget those kinds.
That's
What's
amazing.
next?
Okay.
And right here we have pasta. Eat your leftovers. You can eat leftover pasta. Okay, so the idea is that similar to the potatoes, when you cook the pasta, it starts absorbing the water, creates resistant starch when you cool it. You
That's
reheat it
amazing.
and that resistant starch stays put. And by the way, the glycemic index on pasta isn't as high as you'd imagine.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
it
good.
has
All right,
a better
more-
effect.
More
fiber.
science class with this food when we come back with Dr.
Yeah.
Wendy Bazilian right after this. Back with Dr. Wendy Bazilian, and she's sharing some of her biggest nutrition tips. This is about pairing now here.
Pairing. Nutrition synergy is about foods that are good for you already, but you put them together, it amplifies.
Okay.
Exponential.
Yeah.
Okay.
What
Tell
else is
us-
better together as a pair? Oh, you
I
guys.
mean,
Exponentially.
Right.
But when we add Dr. Wendy Bazilian, then we're super
We're really going to
boost.
boost your day.
Yeah.
Super boosted.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, the classic example is beans and rice, of
Yeah.
course. Beans and rice. They are a quintessential classic because grains and legumes both have a limiting amino acid, but they both replace it for each other when they're put together.
Oh.
The research has dispelled, it's been a myth for decades that you actually have to eat them together. You can eat them over the course of 24 hours if you want, but they're so delicious, and there isn't a culture in the world that doesn't put some kind of grain and legume. Pasta
Yeah.
fajoule, a taco shell and beans, lentil, dal and rice. Around the world we have this. This is a great way to maximize your nutrition. Plus, for those of you who are experimenting with intermittent fasting or not getting 3 meals a day, sometimes putting them together really makes sense as well.
So this is like the peanut butter and jelly of 2023.
Yes, and peanut butter and whole grain bread is another example. So there you go.
You are like a star student. Okay, leafy greens and avocados.
Leafy greens and avocados. Okay, just as you predicted at the opening, but for a new reason. All right, avocados, when they're paired with a leafy green like kale, they increase the carotenoids, again, these skin health, immune system function, eye health properties in the leafy greens by up to 400%.
You said eye health?
Eye health,
If I
yeah,
eat this, can I read the prompter?
Yeah, yes, you can.
They
Yes,
need
it'll
to
improve
come
over
up-
time.
They need to come up
Clinically
with
shown.
a better word than carotenoid.
Carotenoid. I know it's a tricky word. It's a plant nutrient.
Good to know, though.
Phytonutrient.
Yeah.
But the idea here also is that avocados also are fats, healthy fats, as we well know all those other things. But they also increase the absorption of vitamin K, an important nutrient for our bone health as well.
Yep.
Okay, moving on.
Okay, here's another one. Greens, but spinach, for example, and citrus, or mangoes. This is vitamin C plus your spinach. So there's a lot of sources of iron. I've already mentioned it, with the cast iron. A lot of sources of iron that aren't quite available to us when we eat them, or as maximized as they can. If you squeeze lemons, and there is no excuse for not squeezing lemons because there's seedless ones available now that you just squeeze. There's no excuse for not squeeze lemons on your greens, or make a smoothie. I've got a great smoothie recipe called the Trappist SoCal, because I'm from Southern California. Smoothie with mango and leafy greens. It increases the plant iron in your diet. Plus, it gives you a great source of vitamin C.
I squeeze lemon on everything because, frankly, it just tastes better with lemon on it.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's like an exclamation point.
It is,
I feel like it's the exclamation point on a meal.
Description.
Green tea?
Yeah.
Green tea. All right, so here's another one. This is incredible research. We know green tea is good for us. It's got EGCG, epigallocatechin gallate. Say that 5 times fast. There you go. There's your chemistry
You're here for
word.
that.
Woo.
EGCG.
It can rev the metabolism. It helps with fat burning. But when citrus, vitamin C is added to it, so think lemon in your tea, it increases the catechins by 500%. Wow. So it helps with the absorption of those catechins as well, which is pretty cool.
I love when my catechins are absorbed.
Yes.
Times 5.
Indeed.
Okay.
Indeed.
The pear.
All right, the pear. So we're done with the pairings, and now we're looking at time. And this is about ripening. There's some really interesting research about pears. Well, first of all, pears you should ripen at room temperature. But as they ripen, on the skin of the pear is an important antioxidant. They're called NCCs. I'm not going to tell you that one today. That's
Okay.
a little complicated. But antioxidants get higher as you ripen. So eat ripened pears, poach your pears, enjoy your pears. I know this week you learned how to see if they're ripe.
Yes, testing it now, yes.
That's perfect. So pears. So you make sure you ripen them and ripen them at room temperature.
Okay, bananas.
On the other hand, slightly underripe and greener bananas have higher resistant
So
starch.
eat
that
them when they
fiber
have some
again.
green.
A little green. Yeah, I mean, you want them to be edible,
Right,
palatable,
but still
delicious.
You don't want them
Okay.
to be too full of sugar that you're using it for banana bread.
Exactly. Or use that for banana bread and use it as a dessert. But
Right.
when you're eating your bananas, slightly greener,
good to
and
know.
it'll have a lower blood sugar effect, and good nutrition overall, and potassium, as we know.
What about this over here?
Finally,
what do we have?
I want to remind everyone that eating in season is also eating out of season in season.
I
Okay?
see.
So is this complicated?
So you mean taking the frozen bag of veggies and steaming them, and you can still have them?
Yes, absolutely. Because, I mean, think about it. When did they pick these vegetables to go in the jars
When
and
they were
cans?
in season.
When they're in season.
Right.
So whether you're doing it at home yourself, don't forget that this is what the farmers do, and that they bring them into the frozen, the canned, and lower sugar, lower sodium, pick good quality. But that's a great way to amplify your nutrition.
Good
Yeah.
stuff. All right.